There is much more going on than meets the eye. The adventure begins here.
Cool.
And that's how trades are done on CS Money. With Hellcase multi-cases, you're no longer restricted by random case opening mechanisms. Now, you are able to pick any of the cells containing skins and actually determine what you win. Use the promo code and dive right in.
Alright, hello everyone, welcome to the broadcast. The name's Sir Danny. I'm going to be bringing you the action here, the English broadcast here for StarSeries Season 7 NA Qualifier. It's going to be the likes of Vireo.pro going up against Spacestation. We are going to be having the ninth round on its way, but overall this should be quite an interesting matchup, as this is of course the, right about now, the Group A elimination match. It's going to be very interesting to see which team is going to be able to come out on top. Because previously, as I've taken a look at the track record that both teams have had facing off each other, Vireo.pro has been able to come out every single time. One of them was probably one of the more important matchups, was obviously the WSG qualifiers, the playoffs to be exact, in which Vireo.pro were able to beat Spacestation in a 2-0 fashion in the best of 3. I'm not really sure what Snakes is trying to achieve here. It looks like he's still trying to give it his best shot, but let's be real, he's probably gonna get, yep, oh, he's actually gonna still able to sneak. Okay, somehow he makes it doable, but right, Ben will end the madness, and we're gonna be able to continue on with our regular matchup. So for those who are interested, our very first map here is going to be this dude. This is the map pick of Vireo.pro. And oddly enough, our second map will be actually Spacestation's map pick of Nuke. It is a map that I've checked it had a somewhat decent track record. In fact, they've won about 50% of the matchups they had, which is maybe not a bad track record on Nuke. And it is a map that Vireo.pro haven't really played too much in the past, so if they're trying to bank off their success from their opponents not really enjoying the map they play, so why not give it a shot if you are the likes of Vireo.pro. Well, looks like our little matchup is going to commence now, as it's going to be Vireo.pro starting things off on the CT side. It's of course going to be the likes of Spacestation here on the terrorist side, and well, Stellar. I'd just be the one seeing a lot of action here towards long. Of course, there's a lot of players coming his way, so he's going to have to be very cautious about his approach. There's definitely Spacestation guys haven't been able to overwhelm the A side. There's still a couple defenders here. In fact, the majority of the guys have made their way into the bomb side right now, and Vireo.pro still got their players in some pretty nifty positions. One of them is obviously Stellar. Hasn't revealed his position just yet, finally does so. Now the Spacestation guys not only have to focus their efforts on short, but they also have to get rid of Stellar as soon as possible. They do so through the hands of Snakes, but right now it's still an awkward scenario here in which Davey, he's got himself a prime position to be in. in which, even though he's only on 10 points of health, the fact that he's still alive could be the difference. But Robbie, yeah, he's also got a smoke grenade alongside the defuse kit. He should be able to come out on top in this one. Davey's going to have such a difficult time actually land up the shot, and it will be a first round here for Vireo.pro. I guess we could actually take a look at some of the odds GG.Bet has given us for this matchup. For starters, second map total rounds. This is the first map of this matchup, so it's a pretty odd thing to be counting. It appears we have some sort of technical difficulties. I really do hope there was not going to be impacting the game too much, and I'm not really sure whether it's actually one of the teams calling out the timeout or it's actually the admin staff here for StarSeries. Either way, I just do hope that our matchup won't be taking too long. Ooh. Alright, let's see a bit of a replay. Oh, the knife round replay. Sure, I guess. That was, I would have loved to see Snake's PV actually getting the backstab there in the first guy. It looked like he actually even got it mid-air, though. That's very weird. Knifing in this game works in a pretty interesting ways. So, for those who are also wondering, maybe on which patch this game is being played on, it is being played on the very latest, the one that Valve has released with the whole VR mode and whatnot. Of course, that's not the biggest problem. It's just that one of the biggest, well, or interesting changes in terms of competitive has got to be the new way Molotovs work. The fact is, pretty much Valve has been able to bring back the way Molotovs used to work at the very start of Counter-Strike, where you would be able to throw down a Molotov pretty much wherever you want for, and as long as it still stays in the air, it doesn't explode, thus making the Molotov a very optimal weapon in nowadays Counter-Strike. I mean, it is, to some extent, I guess you could say it's a bit too OP even. Haven't been able to see a lot of teams still exploit this. I'm not sure if it's a bug or it's a feature. It hasn't really been made clear by the Valve staff, or shall I say the CSGO development team. So it looks like it's gonna be staying in the game for now at least. So obviously if you're looking to try to get an advantage, trying to learn some of those new Molotov tricks can really help you out. Of course, it's also quite interesting that the new nade sound as well. That is, I don't know how you guys feel about the new nade sound, which of course gives a bit more oomph to the sort of HE grenade when it explodes, but it kind of scares like the sound in a sense that, say a grenade is able to explode right next to you, like it's such a loud explosion that it could actually obscure some of the noise you might or could have heard, maybe some footsteps nearby, or something of a similar nature. Actually, quite a lot of clicking happening here in the chat. Haven't really been able to catch to what these guys are talking about, but definitely seems to be some sort of tech issue. Oh, it has been patched. Oh, okay, my bad. My bad. I actually thought that it was still very much in the game because I think on one of the previous matchups, I saw a Molotov fly for a pretty long distance. So I actually thought that it might have been because of the new patch. But okay. It does make a lot of sense to get it patched out because it's just ridiculous. I remember that at the very start of Counter-Strike, the pros actually hated how the Molotovs used to function because not only did it have that ridiculous range of it being thrown, but also had the fact that if you were in the Molotov, you'd actually be slowed down. Your movement speed would slow down, so pretty much you'd go into the Molotov with, say, 100 points of health. You start moving in the damn thing, and you suddenly just end up dying because you get slowed so much. It was quite ridiculous. But oh well. At the very least, we can continue on with this matchup. Spacestation do decide to go for the force spy, and so far it hasn't really worked out for Odorous. The very first kill gear is going to be working out here for Flapping Long. So the guys here from Spacestation, I mean, even if they do end up losing one of their own pretty early here in this sort of round here, the second round of this first half. They still got themselves a chance, don't get me wrong. One thing they do have on their side is obviously weaponry. We have the AK-47 in the hands of Grim. Khalil's there. Robbie using the AUG in the best possible manner, using it at its range. But of course now, there's going to be a lot of players coming toward this A side. They're going to be able to swarm it, but Oven, that's a very peculiar position to be with the Nova. And I don't think he was even able to get a single shot in. I mean, if you're able to position yourself on the sort of elevator where you're just going to be standing right next to the wall and just jumping and shooting people with the Nova, no, that is effective. That is super effective at times. But just straight up shooting from CT spawn, and not so much. Well, it looks like the pistols will come out here for Spacestation. I was maybe hoping to see a straight up push here in the B bomb site, but apparently they're still going to take their sweet time here. Maybe it's not going to be a push on the B bomb site just yet. The fact they've got 4 guys here in the middle definitely spells doom here from maybe Ben, as he's going to get swarmed by a lot of these players. But there's Floppy to help him out, and this is looking not too shabby here for Vireo, as they're able to have a pretty good hold. There's Pubbin to get the last kill. So, in all fairness, that wasn't too bad of a round. In fact, they make it relatively clean here. The guys here from Vireo.pro. Now, I will say this though, this is my very first time actually casting NA Counter-Strike, because the time zone for me in order to cast NA Counter-Strike is pretty screwed up, and it's not the best, if I may so put it at that, lightly, so to speak. So, I don't know, the name of Vireo.pro sounds very reminiscent of Virtus.pro, and I do believe these guys are actually been playing from probably somewhere at the MDL Global Challenge Land, which I think is also happening at the same place where where's that stage called? Can't really remember. What I can tell you though is that Spacestation, this push is so far looking good for them. And hold on just a sec. Robert has been able to dish out so much damage that, in fact, I wouldn't be too surprised to see if the CT's doing them trying to go for the retake. It's definitely looking plausible, even though the B side here on dust2 is very hard to retake. Still got some utility in their side. That can actually help them to break through the offense. Or shall I say the defense in this case. No, Snakes is he able to take down Floppy. So right now, I just don't know if Vireo.pro do want to try to consider for this one. In fact, now that I take a look at it, Spacestation, they got a decent amount of utility remaining in their pockets. They just get stuck there in the door. And Puffin, he's going to try to give it his best shot. There's 2 kills with the AUG. He can actually find the 3rd one on Grim. That would be possible clutch. But not this time around. It will be the first round here for Spacestation. And a pretty successful B split. I guess we're going to see how, yes, Robbie got here 2 kills with the AUG. And man, the second one was pretty bad. But the fact that he was able to do so much damage to the 3rd guy as well was actually pretty impressive. So of course, Spacestation, we're having a pretty interesting investment here. GMD is going to be keeping the AUG of Robbie, I do believe. Even in fact, Vireo.pro do opt to decide to go for a couple of those AUGs and not investing in much of the utility, which could come back to bite them. But Floppy, yeah, he's going to have quite a difficult task ahead of him. He does have his teammate to back him up, so they can do some serious damage here. Snakes takes down his own teammate. And, well, at the very least, Spacestation do have long control, but with that being said, there was a lot of casualties here. Davey, alongside GMD, they're still very much alive in this one, but, oh, Stellar. You can actually find some serious, very good position here. Not sure if he's going to be able to spot out Davey here, but he's just going to continue holding this, apparently. It does make a lot of sense if you're a Spacestation. You've lost so much map control that you're probably anticipating for the CTs to be making these aggressive pushes, and that is the case. Stellar is just ready and waiting, but he can't win the fight against Davey. That's the biggest problem if you're shooting from that angle. If you're a CT, like, the only body part of you that is exposed is the head. For a T, all he has to do is hit the head, and he gets the kill. Oh, Ben has no idea about how close his opponent is, but Davey will land on the floor apparently, and whoops, That's a bit of a shame there for Ben. He does land the scout tag, but no kill just yet. So, at the very least, Pavan kind of anticipates his player to be low in HP, and this is odd. He's just gonna stay there in the smoke. Does GMD realize he doesn't have the bomb, right? Does he? No. He clearly doesn't. And now that will be around here for Vireo.pro. And Pavan actually, that was actually very smart of him standing in the smoke, apparently. I was quite confused at first, but then I saw the minimap and it all made sense. So this is what NACS is all about, apparently. Quite interesting, not gonna lie. Well, Vireo.pro anticipating their opponents to have a somewhat quasi-bye coming into this 6th round. That is one of the main reasons we can see even 3 of the MP9s being purchased. Pavan, though, misses the shot with the op, and right now he just has to back away from there. The good thing he does, but surely if he would have get caught out there for the doors, that could have been a salvageable AWP for Spacestation. And in fact, apparently, okay, this is a bit of a problem. No one's really looking towards short, so of course Spacestation, they got themselves a good opportunity to cross here to the side and plant the bomb, but it is a bit problematic though, as now the guys here from Vireo.pro have made their way on this bomb site. And they should be able to cancel the bomb plant, but Davey, he's just by the nick of time, is able to plant it. So overall, I guess we could say that's not a bad round here for Spacestation. Sure, every single player gets wiped out, and they weren't able to kill anyone from the side of Vireo.pro. But with that bomb plant coming in, at the very least, it's just going to be some extra money. And with that extra money, can actually... No, it's still actually not enough. That's a shame. It's still not enough to make a proper investment, so it just has to be another eco in this case. Maybe thanks to the bomb plant, they can actually invest in some of those upgraded pistols, as we can see. Upgraded pistols, maybe even Kevlar on some of the guys? No, apparently. Okay. Just gonna be the upgraded pistols, some utility, which is also very nice. I do love the fact that teams haven't prioritized the utility nowadays, even on these eco runs, where they only have pistols. Floppy, though, this is... Oh, man, that's quite sloppy from Floppy. Good thing he's still able to get that 2nd kill, though. That's a very interesting way to end it. And even though this is looking like a very interesting round here, Logged, I'm still almost certain Vireo.pro gonna be able to come out on top of this engagement. I'm not sure what weapon did Robbie end up dropping, but it probably is an MP9, so it's definitely not too salvageable here for Spacestation. Which, I guess... Okay. If you're Pavan, gotta be quite careful there. As the WP being dropped, it will be recovered by one of the by one of the Vireo.pro guys. I'm almost certain about that. It's just that we're making this needlessly expensive. Floppy, though, will be able to end this round with a 4K, and Vireo.pro do get the 6th. Oh, match being paused again. Alright. Not really sure if the pause is of a tactical nature or a technical one, but I'd probably go with the latter one. Not really sure if Spacestation would consider taking the tactical timeout, because they still got themselves a chance here. Oh man, that was... Floppy just didn't have any of it. It's that low sensitivity. Maybe he also ran out of mousepad space. Tends to happen for me, at least. Well, looks like you are going to be continuing on with the matchup here. The Krieg now being purchased here by GMD. Some guys here from Vireo.pro actually try and go for the sort of boost up here down short. As we can see, the Spacestation guys are actually not really too focused here on looking down middle. I think there was one of the players, not sure if it was actually Autoris with AWP, who could have maybe catch out some of these guys with the rifles. Pavan, though, let's take down GMD and long, so it's a bit of a shame that Spacestation didn't actually deploy, see another smoke grenade to allow their players to make their way into the pit area. But Floppy is able to spot out a couple of these guys, and there's a lineup, and yet Autoris is able to come out on top. Still not that bad of a scenario here for Spacestation, but surely it's not looking too great. Autoris very low in HP, and let's have the bomb on his shoulders, and if he ends up dying in this position, that's pretty weird. Snakes, though, does take down Stellar. Oh, Pavan? Yeah, he's definitely here. Footsteps should be an easy kill with the P250. One more bullet. Snakes does go down. But it's very interesting how... oh man, Pavan always just jumps into the crosser there for Autoris. Could have been an easy kill here for Spacestation, but here... This is still a round that's somewhat winnable here for Spacestation, I presume. As Autoris alongside Snakes. They're actually going to make their way into the B bomb site apparently. As B bomb site doesn't have a single defender, so they can actually push on here and try to plant the bomb. Ben. Oh, this is a bit problematic for Spacestation. They don't have a smoke grenade to actually block off the vision here. Oh, okay, now they do. So now Ben is actually going to make his way. Will be able to drop the bomb carrier. And the nade should get the best of him. It will be the 7th round here for Vireo.pro. Spacestation not finding too much success here in dust2. Which, for those who are wondering who ended up picking dust2, it is in fact Vireo.pro. So I guess their dominance so far can be explained by, well, them picking this map against their opponents. Yeah, so it looks like Spacestation though are just gonna have to go for what seems to be a bit of a partial buy, in the sense that they have to buy some of those upgraded pistols and the Calvar to be competitive in this round. But because they have lost so many rounds in a row, I mean, they just want to try to build up that money so they could have a proper investment. But for now, I mean, things are looking pretty dire here. Stellar though, he's actually gonna drop the sniper rifle, which could mean Spacestation could recover it. There's Odorous with it, but now GMD though, still spinning around with that deagle of his, and looks like even he might go down, but GMD finds one more kill. It's not looking too bad for him. He's got the deagle out, but surely there is no way in the world he's winning that one. And it looked very cool at one point, maybe impossible to win the clutch, but I mean, that would have been... that would have required quite the lineup of the stars. Molotov doing quite a decent amount of damage on their GMD. Ben was able to find a kill, but even he gets found out there by, I do believe, his tracers of the AUG. I guess Floppy should be very careful about this push. At least he is able to spot out GMD, who's barely in the HP right now. In general, quite a lot of these guys here from Spacestation have been softened up pretty early on here, which Vireo.pro can definitely be using for their advantage. Smoke grenade being deployed. Looks like the lonesome CT operator here on the A side is gonna have to do most of the heavy lifting, unless Robbie can actually help him out. And right now we can actually see the Molotovs being deployed. Can't find a single kill right now. It is gonna be Puppet with the very first kill. There's a lot more players coming his way. And of course now the fact that he gets 2 means that this is a very doable round for Vireo to win. And Floppy's there to help him out. So Vireo, so far they've been able to have a superb CT side. With them having 9 rounds on the board, they can be very happy about their result. Well, we actually see some highlights here. And I guess we can also do a very quick recap on how the odds are looking for this current stage, as Vireo.pro have been able to have a splendid half so far. So let's see what the guys can Spacestation do here. Maybe one of the things we haven't been able to see too much here from Spacestation is actually just maybe keeping things basic, you know? Keeping things simple, try to regroup and maybe even try to hit one of the sites. Because so far their efforts of acquiring map control just have been in vain. They really haven't been able to succeed too much, and in all fairness, looks like they are trying to go for a similar play they did on the round that they ended up winning. It's just a straight up B split. Stellar should be able to spot a couple of these guys, but he still hasn't been able to line up a shot. That's the bomb now being dropped then. Well, looks like he will be recovered there by Odorous. Robbie though, he doesn't give a damn. He's just gonna push on through the smoke. There's still some kills going in favor here of Vireo.pro, and even though they do have the bomb site, which is great and all for Dave and Snakes, this is still problematic as they have to recover the bomb. And how are they gonna do it? That's a pretty damn good question. Davey, where's your... Okay, he does have the AK-47. That was a pretty odd moment. Would it be a shame to be going up against the rifles with only what seems to be a block? Floppy, though, he does end up dropping here to Davey, so... And where's Stellar, though? He's looking towards the lower tunnel area, so he may not be in action here. But apparently, it's all up to Snakes here. The 1-on-2 is able to get the first kill and very much gets the second. As Stellar was very low in HP, and Snakes is able to pull off another round here for Space Station. Really not that bad. I mean, not that bad for Space Station it is, but I have to admit, it kind of looked like Vireo.pro should have been able to come out on top in that round, and yet they, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It is interesting though that, oh, not bad there by others. Was able to take down one of the players there in the middle. It's interesting though that a lot of the players that are using the scope weapons like the AUGs and the Kriegs and whatnot, they're actually not really scoping in. They're just pretty much shooting gun as if it was, say, an M4 and rifle. And I think it's pretty much because they're not used to it. The whole thing that you can actually scope in, which, of course, guys, if you're able to scope in with an AUG or a Krieg, you can actually have some increased accuracy, if I recall correctly. So obviously, don't be fearful of Call of Duty noob. Robbie and Floppy should be able to save their guns here at the very least, as doesn't look like Space Station gonna be going for the hunt. Or maybe. Let's see though. It's gonna be, yeah, the Vireo.pro is holding on to their weapons. And they should be able to keep into the next round, and that's going to be in itself a small victory here for Vireo.pro, as they don't really have a lot of money coming into this upcoming round. So the fact that they have these weapons saved means that they might just be able to stand a bit of a chance here up against the weaponry of Space Station. Alright, the smoke blocking off the vision of Otterus, so he can't find a single kill just yet. Space Station finding quite a lot of success here, at least taking over long. Yes, it also helps out the fact that not a single Vireo.pro player actually looking towards the long area. So they have been able to access it relatively easily. Just pop in a couple of those pop flashes and boom, got yourself long control. So right now, Space Station, that's one of the smokes to block out the vision from CT, but where's the other one? I guess it's not gonna come in just yet because Space Station, and they do have so much presence here in long, they're not ready to push in to the A site just yet. Trying to clear out every nook and cranny, making sure there's not one of these Vireo players just hiding in some sort of corner here. They are going to be making the push here. There is a deep smoke down CT, which is of course going to be enough for them to cross to the bomb site, but still got to be very careful because Robbie does have that AUG in his hands and his disposal. Robbie is able to find 3 massive kills on the bomb site, and even though Stellar has only got the USP, his buddy Floppy does have the MP9, so he might just be able to find something here, even with the MP9. There we go, that's the kill for Floppy. But this is where things do get interesting. Otterus, he's in the pit area, and he should be able to lock this one out. As Stellar only did USP. Hold on just a sec. He's gonna try to make his way here. Otterus, no! He actually misses! He loses the 5-second to USP, and you know what that means, folks. Stellar's got plenty of time to defuse the bomb, and Vireo.pro do get themselves a 10th round on the board. That is... Man, that hurts. That truly hurts. If you're someone from Space Station and you're looking at the investment Vireo.pro has got in coming into the round like that, you have, okay, what, 3 SPs, an AUG, an MP9, it should be easy, right? Nope. Apparently Space Station kind of messed it up. That's just... wasn't good enough. Well, Spacestation can change things up a little bit. Maybe putting a lot of emphasis on this short take, and it looked good at one point. But the fact that Rob is able to take down 2 of those players and now the bomb being dropped, this is not looking too great here for the Spacestation guys. You have Otterus and Davies still very much alive and kicking, but I mean, what can he really find in this run? Davies should be able to, yeah, change it for a better gun. He does have the AK now in his disposal, but it's obviously going to be a very difficult scenario for these 2 to try to clutch this one out. Ben is ready and waiting for these players to come his way. He should be able to get, maybe it won't, at the very least, a kill. And if so, from that point onward, all Vireo.pro have to do is just have good trades. But the Spacestation guys still going to be able to find some of these kills here. They still got themselves a chance, but they need to try to find them ASAP. 50 seconds on the clock. They seem to be trying to give it their best shot at maybe trying to find the openings, but the thing is though, Vireo.pro playing this one very smart. They're not giving any of them. Davey might just get this one on Robbie, as Robbie's only 19 points of health, but Robbie's able to spot him out, and yet Davey is able to come out on top. Very low HP for something, well, to be exact for Davey in the scenario. Molotov might actually kill him, apparently. So now it's all in the hands of Arderus. The Molotov forces him out to actually play on the site. He should be able to plant the bomb, so that's one little victory here for Arderus. But trying to win the one-on-free clutch is no easy cookie. He is trying to win the first fight against the long guy. Can't really see him. So it does look like Arderus is now just going to get overwhelmed by players coming from all directions. It will be another round here for Vireo.pro, the 11th one to be exact. As Spacestation, well, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to mount a comeback here. Yeah, this was actually a pretty neat setup here from Floppy and Robbie. Man, that is some cool nicknames. I will give credit for in that regard that if you actually consider like some of the nicknames say NA pros have, and like even this sort of tier 2, tier 3 level NA pros, and if you take a look at something like CIS pros, I mean it's just ridiculous when you look at it. So that is of course 1 for NACS, 0 for CIS. No? Looks like Spacestation gonna try to give their best shot at the mid take. Of course, Ben is gonna get overwhelmed with the amount of players that are pushing down middle. And yet, I think it's Lonesome Floppy here at the back of the side. Or no, it's actually Stellar. Once these players start pouring in, this is where things do get interesting. But so far, you know, Stellar has been able to do a pretty good job. Pumless is over there to help out his teammate GMD. But this is still not looking too great here for Vireo.pro, as even though Spacestation have the bomb site. I'm quite intrigued to know how this one's going to turn out. Bomb should go down. Snakes is going to try to hunt down Floppy. But in his attempt to try and find him down, he does succeed apparently. This is all very interesting right now. Spacestation, do they? Yeah, Snakes does have the bomb. All he has to do right now is just cross the bomb site to actually plant the damn thing. But it's not going to take their sweet time here, Spacestation, and I do kind of expect that. Because they have so much time to work with, they might begin to toy with the minds of Vireo.pro. They might sort of force them to think that they're going to rotate on the other part of the map. But Robbie, I'm not really sure why he ends up making the peak there. At that point, they just should have just continued on holding it. And well now, the bomb though, it will be spotted, but this is such a difficult position for the CT to win. He's still going to try to give it a shot with the deal, which, in all fairness, isn't that bad of a gun. I mean, all he has to do is just actually hit both of these players once, and they should go down. So even the deagle here can be quite powerful. He's slowly but surely walking into the bomb site. He's actually going to try to defuse. Nah, he should definitely try to find these kills. There's the first one working out. Doesn't see the second guy. And well, that will be the 4th round here for Spacestation. But surely, as far as Halfster and dust2 are concerned, it's not looking too great here for Spacestation. Maybe they can pull off some miracle plays on the CD side, sure. And they can find some success there. But for now, as far as T sides are concerned, this has been pretty dreadful. It is nice to see that Davey has been able to have quite a good game so far. 14 kills for him. None of his teammates actually even close to his fragging. Closest would be Graham with 9. So there's still a bit of a disparity between the players here in Space Station in terms of kills. But for Vireo.pro, man, you can actually even see like Robbie's been able to put up pretty good numbers here. 20 kills for him. Has been able to have quite a decent amount of impactful rounds and a lot of multiple kill rounds as well. Does look like Vireo.pro gonna keep things simple. It seems to be a good old-fashioned push down middle. They have been able to smoke off CT, thus making the push much more successful. At least it should be. Of course, now Other is gonna be facing the guys here from long range, and that is where the ESPs excel. And right now, if you're Flop and Puffin, this is quite a difficult scenario, but they are gonna be able to plant the bomb here, which seems to be pretty good. But I mean, you can see that some of these guys here from Vireo.pro are very low in HP. I think once Grim hears the numbers being punched in, he's just gonna try to get a peek in, but he doesn't really have to do it just yet. But apparently Snakes is there, and right now Floppy 1 point of health. He does get the first kill onto Grim, but there's still a long way to go if he wants to try to get this clutch. But the first kill, is still something. Of course, I don't really think the Space Station guys realize how low Floppy is, and I don't think it's going to be too coordinated of an effort, and apparently that won't be too necessary. GMD will get the last kill, and of course there's plenty of time to defuse the bomb, and the first victory here in the second half does end up going for Space Station. Right. On the back of that bomb plant from earlier on the very first pistol round, we could actually even see that the Vireo.pro guys do have a somewhat of a decent investment, especially if you're Robbie. Like, the man's stacked out. He's got an AK-47 to boot. He also have plenty amounts of utility, so well, honestly, this isn't looking too bad of an investment here from Vireo.pro, and they can still get something done here if they got themselves a good strat or idea how they want to try to approach this current round. Definitely would love to see how it turns out here for the Vireo.pro guys. Does look like Space Station have actually pretty much used all of their utility except for Lonesome GMD here with the smoke in hand. And the fact that he does have the smoke grenade could spell disaster here for Vireo.pro. Oh, Davey had no idea about the short push actually happening. And right now, it's all up to GMD to try to hold this one down. Of course, they need to check his position. He can't get anything done. This means that Vireo.pro are now in a very good position to plant the bomb. But the bomb planter is still on his feet, trying to get to the bomb site as quick as possible. But even that speed may not be too necessary as Otterus and Snakes. This is quite a difficult position here for the remaining Space Station players. And yeah, it just looks like they're going to try to go for what seems to be a save here. Snakes and Otterus, they have rifles, and not just that, the M4s, which can be of great use coming into this next round. And because the money situation is in dire straits here for Space Station, I wouldn't be too surprised to see if they end up going for a force buy. It would make sense, especially because they're gonna have very little rounds to work with here on the second half, with Vireo.pro gaining the 12th one. So I'm very interested to see how Space Station gonna try to go for this one. Oh, cameraman. Okay. Kind of thought our cameraman kind of slept on his job. But yeah, as I was alluding to earlier, because of a difficult money situation here for Space Station, they do end up going for the force buy. And I mean, it is a bit of a shame how Dave ends up dying so early. I'm not really sure what he was trying to accomplish with him only having the pistol and pushing out mid like that. Oh man, it's just looking horrible, isn't it? Vireo.pro able to find every single kill except for that one and that other one that Snakes got. But in all honesty, this seems to be a very good round for Vireo.pro. They're gonna be able to plant the bomb here yet again. They can have some of their individuals just hide in the pit area and just wait for the guys at Space Station to try and get them. but that doesn't seem to be too necessary. Snakes and Grim might just be content with just save the weapons here yet again, as it seems to be the only thing they can do at this point. It's obviously not looking too great here for Spacestation. And as the second half is coming to a close, I think sooner than later, they're going to have to begin to think of their options on the second map. And of course, guys, if anyone's cheering here for Spacestation, the good news is our second map is the map pick of Spacestation. It is Nuke. And they might actually be able to win that map. Because as far as I'm aware, Vireo.pro have played Nuke once, and I think they've lost it to, I'm not really sure which opponent. So they can definitely, Spacestation, use the knowledge of the map to their strengths. We can actually even, I'd say, take a quick glance at the odds as, oh, okay, that is pretty one-sided, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's quite the significant map handicap there for Vireo.pro. I mean, surely if somehow Spacestation can make a comeback possible, those would be very good odds if you want to bet on Spacestation. But I mean, let's be real. I don't really think there's much of a chance here for Spacestation. This round in particular. Here, Vireo.pro, they got all the weapons necessary to win this round, and yet there's only pistols here for for Spacestation, except for some of those weapons they've been able to keep from the previous round. There's Career Making 47 and Snake's M4. It's a great flashbang usage, gonna deter any from the CTs from pushing forward, but Robbie, I think he might begin to realize that there is a player right in front of him as Grim is right around the corner, and that will be another round here for Vireo.pro, which in all fairness wasn't too bad. I mean, again, that was pretty one-sided from the get-go. Spacestation weren't able to get anything going ever since the start of the round, other than that first initial kill towards the tunnels at B. But here, of course, Spacestation have a chance. They have got themselves a pretty good investment in the purchasing of the rifles, and 2 AUGs being purchased. Very intrigued how this one's going to turn out. Floppy, though, is able to spot out both of those guys, and Lonesome Floppy single-handedly opening up the A-long area of the map. There's Robbie there to help him out, but he's just stealing his triple kill right there. Nothing much going on here, I'd say, for Spacestation, unless... Actually, Davey... Maybe you can actually get that kill on the guy who's lurking right behind him. This could still work out here, but let's be real though. Davey is gonna have no idea about this flank taking place. Robbie takes down Snakes, and it's a bit of a shame that Snakes didn't even consider to wait for his buddy Davey, because if he would have, I don't know, maybe this clutch would have worked out. Well, I'd say the clutch, but really it's just a 2-on-3 scenario. Could have gone a different way, especially with Davey now getting this kill. Surely would have been a godsend if he had a teammate backing him up, but here it seems like Spacestation have to conceal another round. Looks like it's just gonna have to go in favor here of Vireo.pro. 15 for them, and yep, 15-5 right now. Spacestation not finding any success so far here in dust2. It seems to be quite the one-sided affair. It appears that yeah, it's really not enough money for Spacestation to be making a somewhat decent investment. I mean, they do have the scouts coming in, SMG in the hands of Snakes, and in general, I mean, it's not looking too great for their side, but we're still gonna try to give it a shot. Davey tries to do so with the scout, but ends up dying early on here, and Stellar tries to push him for the flames. He does have his teammate backing him up, but this round is just looking over at this point. Spacestation, there's Ben now cleaning up CT, and you can see that this is pretty much it. 16-5 here for Vireo.pro, and that was a very first half and second one at that. So of course, guys,